You are now officially my alibi for the evening. As I think most of you know, it's Saturday night is a news night for me. I could have left, I can normally leave at 10 to 7, but they insist that we stick around and do one 5-second shot at the end of the news with all of us sitting there, you know, pretending we like each other, smiling, laughing, all that sort of thing. So to hasten my departure from Mount Cooper, to get home, to get a dinner suit on, jump in the car and get here, I have recorded tonight's sports update, which went something along the lines of saying that Steve Smith's fantastic century this afternoon in Pune in the first test has set Australia up for an almost certain victory. Now, don't go off too fast. That update is going to air at 7:56. So in about 4 minutes, as if it's live. I just ran into the chair, William Bass, who was one of the first people I walked into the room. He said, "What about the Aussies winning in Pune, Paddy? Isn't it fantastic?" So all 160 of you are now being officially blamed for me recording that piece tonight looking like a bloody idiot tomorrow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing up in such great numbers for a cause that is so close to all of our hearts. I think it goes without saying there's many familiar faces in the room, and you all know that I sadly lost my dad to Alzheimer's, and when I was invited to just help along here with Alzheimer's Australia Queensland, it was no problem whatsoever, and I'm so pleased that we've got a room full tonight at this wonderful Stanford Plaza. And I think first of all, can we put our hands together for Brown Sugar? They have entertained us and kept me waiting patiently out there tonight. I'll just go off script for a minute, but we are surrounded by stars in the room tonight, but could I make particular mention of our National Ambassador, and she is one and only, ladies and gentlemen. She's a unique Aussie. Please welcome Ida Buttrose. She is a favourite lady to all of us, but my two favourite girls, with the exception of my wife, of course, are also in the rooms, our Olympic champions, ladies and gentlemen. We had them for a night for Alzheimer's at Tattersalls Club, and I sat down and grilled them for 25-30 minutes or so. I promise I won't be as tough on them tonight, but they are just wonderful, wonderful people, ladies and gentlemen, and just great role models for everyone in sport. The Campbell sisters, ladies and gentlemen. I know they were down mentoring youngsters in Sydney the other night, which I saw on Sunrise, but we welcome them tonight. We'll have a chat with them. We've got a lot of people here, but firstly, and I better get back to my script, could I acknowledge we're gathering on the traditional lands, ladies and gentlemen, of the Turrbal people, and can I pay my respect to elders past and present and to emerging community leaders. It gives me greater pleasure to be here tonight. As I said, this is something that is very, very close to my heart. And let's hope through our auctions and just by the fact that you have paid your money to come through the door tonight and be part of this night of stars, that we can raise some much needed funds for those who are suffering from dementia, their carers and their families. They've all got stars in their eyes, and they all need help, ladies and gentlemen. One shining star is Greg Kelly. Many years ago, he worked in the financial sector, and he was diagnosed with dementia at just the age of 60. His passion is Harley-Davidson biking, and he's now using his Harley to make a difference. Greg asked me to let you know that he's a passionate speaker off the cuff, but tonight he has prepared his notes to help him remember all the important points about Kell's ride for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure right at the outset of the evening to welcome Greg Kelly. You've got the black tie too. Good to see you, mate. Great to see you. You've got your notes there. I've got my questions here. We should be able to work this out.
We will. Tom and Jerry show.
All right, tell us a little bit about this diagnosis of dementia and what it meant to you.
Well, Pat, it was a huge shock and it was a relief. I was no longer able to do some of the basic things we take for granted: speech, understanding, comprehending, remembering the basic things. They were all gone. I didn't understand really what this disease meant, which allowed me some time to convince myself at least I wasn't going mad. Then I started looking into the disease, and it frightened me and made me more determined and more angry. It's the second highest killer in Australia. It's the third highest in the USA, similar in New Zealand, and similar stats worldwide. That shocked me. You, me, and everyone out there didn't know this. Because it's not talked about, it's not in the media eye. I want to turn the spotlight on this disease for the benefit of everyone out there. They talk about the huge increase in this disease between now and 2025. Well, that's just 96 months. Then they talk about a bigger increase by 2050. That's just another 300 months. I had to get my head in the gear and I had to tackle this disease head on. I had to lock my mindset and I had to tackle it like a fighter would. It's hopped up in my head. So to me, it's hopped up in the ring. It didn't know who it was picking on when it picked on me. I won't go down, and I will go toe to toe with this disease. I intend to fire up sections of my brain just as quick as it thinks it can shut sections of mine down. We'll see who wins. I haven't backed down from a fight previously, and I won't back down to this life-robbing disease. I'm tackling it for everyone. Let's get the biggest floodlights we can on this little sucker.
You need those notes, Steve. Kell's Ride for the Future. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's a good one. The ride starts on the 6th of May this year. I'm riding the Harley the length and breadth of Australia, length and breadth of USA, and the length and breadth of New Zealand. I travel down the east coast of Australia, through Coffs Harbour, Newcastle, Sydney, Wollongong, through to Canberra. Then basically down through Melbourne, across to Tassie, through and around Tasmania. Back across to Melbourne, across to Adelaide, and further across to Perth. Around the bottom of WA and around the bottom of South Australia, then straight up through the centre to Alice and through to Darwin. Back down through the Three-Ways, across to the north coast of Queensland, travelling down through Rocky, Mackay, Bundaberg, Sunshine Coast and Brisbane. And I'll finalise the ride at Gold Coast Harley-Davidson on the 14th of July. I then go across to the USA and I do similar. I have about a 4-week break between Australia and USA. Come back and then I do New Zealand. The Deputy PM, Barnaby Joyce, I did corner him in Darwin. He's given me a commitment to meet me and the Harley at Parliament House. Hopefully the PM will be there to talk about this. We need to chat about what's needed to bring the disease to a grinding halt. We can't keep pushing everything under the depression mat, and that's what happens. Doctors need help with getting the understanding and starting to understand it in young people. The signs, the correct tests get referred to the right doctors and the right professors. I'll travel most days around 450 kilometres. I will stop at 11 o'clock, morning tea, 1 o'clock for lunch, and 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'll finish at the local Harley shop. They're going to put on a free barbecue. They're going to allow me to talk. Alzheimer's Australia and Harley, together with Telstra, are going to make sure that local dignitaries, etc., are all invited, just so that we can turn the lights on every single day.
That is unbelievable. Now, just the one thing, I hope that the scheduled stopover in Bundaberg is a morning tea.
Definitely.
Murray Welch makes the best pikeless stew and cream you'll get anywhere in Australia, believe me. Just quickly, we will wrap up, but how can we help? How can the people in this room, how can everyone out there help?
Okay. Firstly, look, I've got to thank Harley-Davidson, the CEO, Nigel Keogh. That guy's been awesome. Telstra and Duncan Armstrong, fully on board back of me. Wyndham Resorts, Shannon's Insurance, they're all very, very patient with me, and they're learning firsthand through watching me struggle with some of this. I'm trying to get in contact with Toyota or someone. I need to talk to someone about flights and accommodation, and I need to talk about fuel. I'm funding this. I'm doing the best I can, but let me tell you, I'm doing it on a wing and a prayer. So if there's someone out there listening, contact me.
We'll do our best to help you out, mate. Congratulations on what you've done so far. We wish you the very best of luck on this unbelievable
Thank you.
I just want to phone a little one for the Catholic leader, mate. Wasn't long ago I could get